So this Northwest Nepo baby stuff is all over my FYP, so let's talk about it. For those who don't know, I used to be a part-time actor in Louisiana. Now the last acting job I ever had was at a local haunt called the 13th Gate. It's actually kind of famous. However, I had been auditioning at the 13th Gate off and on for several years. However, I was never actually hired on until I got to know a few cast members on a personal level. Now, prior to my role at the 13th Gate, my most notable role was being a stand-in double for a serial killer in True Detective. And shockingly, having that kind of background was not good enough to get hired on at a haunt. Cut forward about 5 or 6 years later, one of the cast members is working at the gym I go to. I actually got to get real close with her and got a few pointers on auditioning. So when I went into the audition this year, I gave her name as a reference, and I did my audition as always. And only then did I actually get on at this haunt. So yeah, even for adults, it's not about your talent, it's about who you know. Because even though I didn't have a monologue done for my last few auditions, they didn't even put me in a spot where I had a speaking role. They made me a caveman, all I did was yell at people. So the monologue didn't really equate to crap. So yeah, I'm not surprised with the casting director giving this job to Northwest, even though she had no talent whatsoever and looked like a kid at an elementary school production. Actually, I take it back because my little sister went to an elementary school that specialized in performing arts, and they did actually have some pretty good productions for kids. Of course, I also remember that my parents didn't like the drama teacher in charge of these productions very much because he always gave favoritism to kids whose parents were constantly bribing him. So yeah, even when it comes to schools that teach performing arts, they give special treatment to parents who brown-nose them. Which brings me to my next point, because I'm not just seeing random people on TikTok complain about Kim Kardashian getting special favors done for her daughter. I'm seeing parents of kids who were passed up on this opportunity complaining. Parents who themselves have reasonably high followings on this app. Now, I'm not going to attack the kids of these parents, but I'm going to point out that a lot of you parents also have Nepo babies. My mom was all involved with the film industry when we were kids, and she would let my sister drop out of school to go work on productions in New Orleans. Then she would complain when my sister got in trouble for unexcused absence. It's a performing arts school, you'd think they would be okay with it, she's still absent from school. Now keep in mind, I know I said I used to be an actor, but it's not because of my mom. She gave me no special treatment whatsoever. She was a textbook narcissistic parent. My sister was the golden child who got all the special treatment. I was the scapegoat. I could never do right by her. I didn't start acting until I was a grown adult and just started doing it part-time. So while I can empathize with the fact that Northwest got the job over kids who actually had talent, let's not act like that all these parents who are mad on TikTok don't also have Nepo babies themselves. You're just mad that you got outbid by somebody with more clout. I mean, why aren't we hearing your kids talk about how they feel that they got passed up for the audition? Why are you the one ranting here on TikTok? And I know somebody's going to say, well, why would you put your kids on the internet? They're already on blast when you put them on the stage. Are we already forgetting about the Quiet on Set documentary here? Y'all want to talk about the fact that we've had photos of teenage Miley Cyrus with Jeffrey Epstein? Now, I'm not saying you're a bad parent if you let your kids pursue acting, but I can tell you from personal experience, kids that have the most success in entertainment have parents that are pushing them to have that kind of success. They're using their kids' talent to boost their own careers or gain their own clout. So do people have a right to complain about Northwest Nepo baby thing? Yes, absolutely. But at the end of the day, a lot of the parents who are on this app complaining that their kid didn't get the part aren't really in a position to judge.